Are we going to establish a Bitcoin ban in Europe? Hello everyone and welcome to the Crypto News Channel. Today we are going to talk about the European Union, a new call for a ban on Bitcoin and crypto and proof of work. And also we have something new on FTX, SBF, reportedly behind Luna UST drop and other news. So stay till the end for a roundup of the best cryptocurrency news from the last 24 hours, and don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell so as not to miss anything. Let's start with the price of cryptocurrencies. Today it is quite stable, a Bitcoin at $16,831 and for Ether $1230, BNB $284, so overall a market which is rather stable. We start with good news. Remember the hack that took place on the BNB chain with the Anchor protocol. Users will be reimbursed. They will deploy $15 million to cover the debt that had taken place on the protocol, so it ends pretty well. Let's talk now from FTX, the New York Times article which reveals to us that the United States is in the process of investigating the fact that SBF would be at the origin of the fall of the Luna UST. He would be involved in market manipulation to make fall the Luna UST, and that's what triggered the crack and the fall of all cryptocurrencies. And it was not just the Luna UST, there was the Celsius. We saw the market collapsed and we finally saw FTX also fall. We don't know yet if it's true, but that's what people currently think. If it's true, that means it's kind of the story of the sprinkler sprinkled, the one who makes his neighborhood sink and then after it's his whole city. It had a lot more impact than expected. They asked him, he obviously denied. For him it was just to invest or do trading. But well, in fact, he would have sold massively from the US, and at the same time he would have shorted the Luna, so that would be his trading strategy. Of course, Do Kwon Lu, founder of Luna UST, took the opportunity to tweet and defend this thesis. Luna had lent $1 billion or lent $1 billion UST to Genesis Trading, and Genesis would then have given that to SBF and Alama, who would have massively resold all that on the markets and would have led to the collapse of the entire ecosystem. A little information, by the way, is that FTX also would have been in negotiation with the star Taylor Swift for a sponsorship of $100 million. Well, it's not done finally, but it's still funny to see how far they were willing to go. And I also wanted to talk to you about NFTs because there is something quite serious that has taken place with NFTs, all of the NFTs that have been created on the FTX platform, and although currently they display black screens, they display nothing. Look, we are going to see one. You go to the Magic Eden platform, you no longer see the image. So even if these images are supposed to be stored on the blockchain, it is only the link of the associated image that is displayed. When we look at the metadata which are stored on a server of FTX. As FTX went bankrupt, the FTX site redirects us to another website which talks about the whole procedure of Chapter 11. Well, the images are no longer accessible and the NFTs are no longer readable. So there are studies to see how to do it, but the solution is to never store NFTs with centralized images. There are several ways to do this in a decentralized way. IPFS is already better. Then you have other protocols. The best way is to store them directly in the blockchain, but it's more complicated and very few people are interested in that for now. I hope it will be an opportunity to really put this subject back at the top of the priorities P for all NFT holders. Let's talk now about the European Union, about the European Central Bank. We have Fabio Panetta, who has just made a series of declarations. Fabio Panetta, he is a member of the Executive Committee of the Central Bank, so this is the body responsible for the implementation of the monetary policy of the Eurozone. So we find, of course, Christine Lagarde in this Executive Council, but also Fabio Panetta. He has just made a brand new speech on cryptocurrencies and on a certain many things related to cryptocurrencies. Of course, they are against cryptocurrencies because it is not in their interest. But what is quite interesting is that he actually says that cryptocurrencies that consume too much electricity, which have an ecological footprint that is too high, should be banned or even prohibited. And for the moment, MiCA's regulations do not provide for a ban, but here it is. He plans to restudy this pollution later by proof of work cryptocurrencies. So we can see that the European Central Bank is still really anti-crypto. He even calls for the banning of all crypto proof of work, and fortunately Ether is not concerned with the proof of stake. But in proof of work, we still have Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, we still have a certain number of cryptocurrencies, and the first cryptocurrency, which is Bitcoin, remains in proof of work. So these are the conclusions. In fact, cryptocurrencies, it's just a bubble, it's just a way to make Paris. It's just a casino in fact, and it is urgent to regulate all that. And the alternative solution, what is it? Of course, he has the solution for us that is going to replace cryptocurrencies, and well, it's digital central bank digital currencies central bank money. So he's just preaching for his parish and saying, here comes central bank digital currencies are going to come and save all that. While I see above all someone who feels threatened by cryptocurrencies, I now wanted to talk to you about Binance, which has just published its proof of reserves with Mazars, with a report from Mazar, which is the firm of audit and which confirms that everything is clear and square. It only concerns the reserve price on Bitcoin for the moment. The rest will come later. So here they are. They have more than 101% in reserve, i.e. 1% more of what is deposited by users. For example, if users have deposited 100 million euros, they have 101 million euros. So they have enough money to cover all user deposits in Bitcoins. So it's something that is quite clean. Here you can see on the site and check that you are indeed included in what has been calculated. Afterwards, there are always people to criticize. I compared a little with what was done with Kraken. I found it very similar in both cases. Please note, we are not talking about an audit carried out by Mazar. That's not it. We are on a report with grids of good procedures. Procedures agreed. They detailed how they did to extract the balance of users, how it was done since by observing the scripts, which allow to extract the data by transferring the money from one wallet to another, to verify that Binance masters well the cryptos in question. So it looks pretty good to me, but we still see several criticisms on the subject. Finally, I'm keen to see what the concrete criticisms are. Because there's Jesse Powell, the president of Kraken, who has made criticisms, but who hasn't clarified his point by saying what's wrong. Me, I still find it rather clean. Let's talk now about Blockstream. It is the company which was founded by Adam Back, the creator of Hashcash, which is the hash function. It is the mechanism used by Bitcoin and which was used by Satoshi Nakamoto to create Bitcoin. It is an element Bitcoin essentials. They founded a company called Blockstream, which employs a number of developers to mine Bitcoin. They were valued at over $3 billion, and there they are raising funds. But today they are valued at more than 70% less than before, so they are in difficulty, and we don't know why. In less than a year their valuation has been divided by 3 almost. We don't know why. They have money that has been blocked? I do not know where. We don't know if it's pure speculation. In any case, they continue to look for money, and so much the better. I hope there will be plenty of diversity in Bitcoin mining. There are several different companies, and that it is distributed from a geographical point of view also, so as not to be dependent on a single country, as we have seen with China lately, and also with the United States, which are starting to take more and more scale on Bitcoin mining. Finally, I wanted to talk about 2 points. Of a first on the metaverse. We have Decentraland, which has just released a feature to be able to rent your land in a completely native way on their marketplace. So people who have land on the metaverse, they can now rent it and choose the duration of 7 days, 30 days, 60 days, or whatever, and set a price. Then people can come, you rent for a day or the other to carry out an event. He sets the example. I imagine you have a DJ who wants to have a party in a metaverse land. He can rent a good location and have his party there. So it's good to see that metaverses continue to grow too, and we are starting to have uses. In fact, they are being born. Afterwards, I think it will also have an impact because we will start to actually measure the price of land on the sleepers depending how much it can bring. So we risk seeing a revaluation, a devaluation of the various terrains on the metaverse. And the last point, the #1 project of the last 24 hours on OpenSea, we find Cockpunch, a collection of NFTs which was launched by Tim Ferriss, author of the famous 4-H Book of the Week, and who is also a friend of Kevin Rose. And Kevin Rose had launched the famous Moonbirds collection. Its launch went well with more than 3,200 ETH in volume on the collection. The set of collections that have been raised by this project will go to an association. This is what I am going to tell you today about the various crypto news of the day. I hope you liked the content. If so, do not hesitate to subscribe and comment, and see you in the next video.